Thank you to AndrewAJT, our Patreon sponsor for this video, and thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Hello everyone, my name is AndrewAJT, and today we're going to be looking at my Vetion guide. So Vetion is a boss that I've done a lot over the years. I currently have just under 1,000 kills. It's my only wilderness boss pet that I actually don't have, but I've done enough kills where I think I have a pretty good method down. And this is an interesting method. You probably have never seen this before. It's a method that one of my close PVM friends and actually one of my patrons, Raapture, invented. And it's basically just designed to be an easier method to kill Vetion. There is a pretty good safe spot method out there that's pretty click intensive, and it involves a lot of running back and forth, and it's just kind of annoying to do. So we kind of made this method just to be a little bit easier and simpler to kill Vetion. And this is a solo guide, but you could basically do the exact same thing duo or trio. So there's really no formal requirements for Vetion. I'd say it's helpful to have 75 plus attack and strength. Just if you want to do this a lot, it would help to have those stats up pretty good. Your HP level is a bit important, but not really. If you have 70 plus, that's probably fine. You probably want to have 70 prayer for piety, and I also like to use the preserve prayer. Your defense doesn't really matter, and your range and mage don't really matter either because you're going to be using melee here. So the gear that you use is pretty flexible as well. You basically just want a good crush weapon and a lot of prayer bonus. So the one I like to use and I highly recommend getting is the Vigorous Chain Mace. This is a crush weapon that does 50% extra damage in the wilderness with Revenant Ether in it. So you need to put 1,000 Revenant Ether in it to charge it, and then anything past that will give it charges. So I'd recommend putting in around 1,500 Revenant Ether, which will give you 500 hits. If you don't have this for some reason, you can use an Abyssal Bludgeon. You can also use a Zamorak Hasta with maybe a Dragon Defender. You can also use a Barrel Chest Anchor, although that would be quite slow. As for the rest of the gear, the Dwarven Helmet from the Grimtail's quest is good because it gives you a lot of crush bonus. The Mythical Cape is good from Dragon Slayer 2, although you can basically use any cape. You can also use a Nezi because it gives some prayer bonus, although it's not quite as good. Any blessing is good for the prayer bonus. I use the diary one for the extra prayer. I like Proselyte armor. It gives you really good prayer bonus, but you can use monk robes instead. Barrow's gloves are good, but you can use rune gloves or something like that. You can use dragon boots if you want, or maybe have primordials as a plus protect item. I like using the Ring of Wealth imbued from a scroll from the GE because it gives you the 1 in 50 drop rate of the elite clue scrolls. And I also like to use a Dragon Warhammer to lower its defense. You don't need this item because the defense already isn't great, but it does speed up the kills a little bit. You can use a Dragon Defender for sure because the Avernic Defender is very expensive, but be careful because some drops protect over the Dragon Defender, so if you're worried about that, you could bring an Unholy Book instead, and that gives you a lot of prayer bonus and some crush bonus, so that's a pretty good alternative. As far as your protect items, these are the 3 that I keep. But I wouldn't recommend bringing like a +4 because if you get smited, which is very easy to do in multi-combat wilderness, you could lose that item. So my protect item is only like Barrow's gloves, I think. Yeah, so if I got smited, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I just lose Barrow's gloves, so I would make sure that your +4 item is not anything special. Make sure your attack options are always on hidden so you don't get skulled. You will bring a lot of salve amulets and probably lose a lot of them. Do not bring the extra imbued version from the Nightmare Zone because that's pretty hard to get back quickly. If you need to get a lot of salve amulets, I'll link a video in the description where you can get a lot of them really quickly. So the inventory is really standard, just a couple super combats, plenty of restores because I don't really like to prayer flick. I bring some brews to get over 100 HP, some anglers for the same purpose, and also some Karambwans for combo eating. This is my over 30 wild teleport, or actually under 30 wild but above 20. I like to bring this while escaping from PKers. Of course, house tabs, I'll show you how to get there really easily. A stamina pot is good to have, and I like to bring bones to peaches as well. You can of course use a Slayer helmet if you're on task as well. You can access all these items really quickly in your bank if you create a little tag in RuneLite. So if you click up here, you can actually make a new tab. So you do that, name it something, I'll just name it like YOLO. And then you can actually drag items into there. So just like as an example, drag a few items into there, and they're actually going to be all here. And whenever I search YOLO, it'll also show them. And you can do a couple things with this. You can change the icon into something, so obviously name it like Vetion or something. And yeah, this is a really nice, easy way to access all of your items every time you want to do a trip. So there's two really easy ways to get to Vetion. One is to use a games necklace and tele to Corp and then leave the cave, and you'll be right here. Or the other, which I like to do, is use the obelisk in my house to get to level 19 wild. And then from either of these locations, you basically just run north and Vetion is right up here. So I'll show you that really quick. So I got the obelisk in my house, it's set to 19 wild. So the run to Vetion is very easy, just run north from either location. And eat an anglerfish when you're out of combat for a few seconds, that'll get you above 100 HP. And when you're around 80 run energy, make sure you drink a stamina potion, so you get your run back and you don't have your run drained too much. And then there you go, we are right around the area of Vetion spawn. So the first thing you're going to notice right away is all the tile markers I have. And you can make these on RuneLite by shift clicking and doing mark tile. So you don't actually need all these, they're more of just visual indicators and you'll see how I use them during the kill. But they're kind of just guidelines. So this is where I start every kill, you might want to mark this one, this is a good one to have. But basically the gist of this method is there are these rocks here, which Vetion can actually be trapped behind. And during the kill you have to fight these skeleton hellhounds, so what I actually do is I go to either of these four sides here, and Vetion can actually get trapped behind these rocks, and then while I'm at these four sides, either one of the four of them, I can safely fight the skeleton hellhounds while Vetion is nowhere near me. So you'll see how that works during the first kill. So once you're ready to go, just pot up here, get your specs ready if you have them. You can use any spec that has a crush style. Get your quick prayer set to this. So basically Vetion has 3 attacks. One is a normal melee attack, which you pray from. The other is a beams attack, which you can always dodge. And the third one is an earthquake attack, where he slams the ground. And you can always dodge the first one of these, so you're only getting hit by 1 out of 3 of his attacks, and you can dodge that first one anyway, so you won't be taking too much damage. So approach him slowly here for the first kill. He's going to be in a random location. And once he sees you, he might shoot the beams, which you can just dodge very easily. And then you saw there, he does the earthquake attack. Once that is over, you can run in and start the fight. And it's quite easy. There's nothing he can really kill you with very easily. He will do the earthquake attack again, which you see there, and you will get hit by that. It can max a 45. It doesn't usually hit very high though. Once these dogs spawn, you want to basically, like I said, take them to a place where Vetion is trapped and the dogs are attacking you. So just kill these hellhounds, and the first ones are very easy. They only have 55 HP and they die very quickly. But the second ones are going to take a little bit longer. But basically you see there Vetion is trapped. He cannot shoot the beams. He cannot do the earthquake attack. Obviously he can't melee me. So I'm totally safe over here from Vetion. If you need some HP, you can use the bones and bones to peaches there. And so once you're ready, you want to get a little bit closer and wait for Vetion to do the earthquake attack again. And once he does that, you're good to go attack him again. So I like to move here. So there we go, there's the earthquake attack. So now I can go fight him again, because he's not going to do that attack for a little bit longer now. If he does the beams first, just dodge those and he'll do the earthquake attack next. If you need to eat, like right here, I'll just eat a little bit. You can go under him like there, and that'll save you the ticks. And this is the longest part of the fight because he's got 2 forms. Again, he'll hit you a little bit. You're going to be taking some damage. There's no way to do this without taking damage, without doing the safe spot, but it's really not too bad. So again, more dogs. Go over there. Going to use the same spot this time, but you could also, for example, if Vetion is over here, you could go right here and Vetion will get trapped right there. If somehow you have it where Vetion is over here, you can go there. If Vetion is over here, you could go there. So you have a lot of options. Just finish off the hellhounds here. Make sure you always pray for these. You don't want to tank them. They can hit pretty high, and they have a lot of HP as well, but they have very bad crush defense, so they shouldn't give you too much of a problem. So once these guys are down, and again, if you're doing this normally, you probably want to use the bones to peaches here. You want to do basically the same thing. Wait for Vetion to do the earthquake attack, like he does there, and then you go fight him again. And if he does the beams first, just dodge those, and then come back and wait for the earthquake attack, and he will be good to go. So yeah, that's how you do Vetion. A really good drop there to start. And I'll show you what it's like to start a kill in the normal spawn point, which is actually a little bit easier. So for a normal kill, just start here, and Vetion is going to spawn soon. If he does the beams attack, you're going to run to the square on the left there, If not, if he does the earthquake attack, you can go fight him right away. And it's really the same sort of thing, you know, just knock his HP down, eat under him if you are below 45 HP, and get those hellhounds to spawn. And once they do spawn, you just want to run over to the other side here, and you can pretty much AFK while fighting them. Just a tip, sometimes the dogs aren't cooperative if you've been there a long time, or if it's your first kill. Sometimes they won't always really follow you correctly. And if that happens, the worst case scenario, you can really just fight them out in the open like I'm doing here. And as long as you're out of range of the earthquake attack, you're fine, because you can easily dodge the beams. So if the dogs aren't cooperative, you can just do that. You might want to either teleport out or run really far away and come back every few kills, because that'll reset the tolerance. One other thing, if the dogs are behind Vetion, you don't just want to run here, because that means Vetion and the dogs will start coming around here. You want to get close enough where Vetion is like kind of in range, but the dogs obviously aren't, and then kind of just walk to the side here and the dogs will pass through. And that'll mean Vetion is going to stay put and the dogs will be able to go around him. Again, if you were to just go over here, then Vetion is kind of out of range, so he'll start coming past the rocks, so you want to go here and then to the other side. So the escape from PKers at Vetion is usually pretty easy. I'm able to get away the vast majority of the time. So put on the Black DI'd body and some defensive prayers, and just keep your HP very high and focus on going southwest. And eventually, once you reach this gated area, it'll be single combat and you'll be taking a lot less damage. Log out if you can, but if not, and if you're teleblocked and you cannot teleport, you can work your way down to these green dragons over here. And sometimes you can get a box there or get them to tag off the PKer. And if you have no luck with that, keep heading southwest here until you can get to that graveyard over there, and there's lots of zombies who can tag off the PKers. It's a pretty simple escape method. I've had a lot of luck with this in the past. If you want a little bit more information about this, I'll put my wilderness survival guide in the description and in the end screen. So that's really all there is to it. I know it's a bit of a strange method, so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll definitely get back to you. With the best gear and this method, you can make around 2.5 mil per hour on average. And that's on average because that's including the Ring of the Gods, which is a 1 in over 500 drop, but it's worth about 18 or 19 mil right now. And you also got the Dragon Pickaxe, which is over 6 mil, so those really help the average long-term GP per hour of the boss, but in the short term, you might do this for an hour and make like a mil or 500k. It's really luck dependent, but the pet is definitely one of the best ones in the game. If you just want to make even more GP per hour and also go for a wilderness pet, I recommend you try Venenatus. I have a guide for that, which I'll put in the description and in the end screen. Please like the video if you enjoyed, that really helps out the channel, and let me know if you want to see some more guides in the comments. You can also subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. You're welcome to join my clan chat, AndrewAJT62, that'll be up on screen. You can also join our clan Discord down below. You can follow me on Twitter at AndrewAJT in the description, and I'll follow you back if you play us. You can follow me on Twitch down below. And lastly, you can support the channel with my Patreon page in the end screen if you're feeling generous. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.